Hi, welcome to Watcher DM. I'm Gabriel. Um, Today I wanted to do something a little different. I've been watching videos lately. I've been watching a lot of solo TTRPG players. I'm going to call out World of Weirth, I think, and Soloist Venture. And then also Tales from the Fireside, I think, is the other one. I've just been watching a lot of solo RPG content, and it's really fun. I enjoy it, not just because I think it's good to. It's an interesting exercise in kind of watching somebody use the tools of storytelling and improvisation at their tables. It's also kind of like a little prompt for me. Like they'll ask the oracle a question and get an answer, and I'll kind of try to interpret it, and I just think that's really fun because it's always very different from how they interpret it. Not there's no right way, there's no wrong way, but it is a great exercise for kind of getting your mind primed for interpreting responses. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of these. I've been really enjoying them. And a video type that has come up recently a few times in my feed has been the your tools for solo RPG. Like what do you use? And so I thought I would share what I use. I'm not. I swear to God, I was not planning on advertising this, but there is like a live D&D improv group here in Vancouver. If you happen to be in the area, you should come check it out. They DM'd at a local event I was at recently, and so I got to meet them. They gave me a flyer. Heroes Without a Plan, always very fun. Okay, so these are my two books. Like, this is okay. So I guess I should probably start by just saying this is kind of my like role playing journal book, just for like stuff that I need on the fly. And so it goes it goes kind of all over the map. Like, so this is my map for our 5e campaign, and I've got just some little notes here and there. I think these are my spells that I know, or I was trying to make a list of all the illusion spells in 5e. Just some things I'm working on or have made, some blanks or whatever. This is my Realms of Peril game that I'll be playing later tonight. My little character for Realms of Peril. Shout out to Zach Wolf and DC Stowe for a great game. Having a great time with that. Here's my other Realms of Peril game, the one I'm running for Alicia. So we got our little, yeah, you can see it all. It's all clocks and stuff. But we're not here to track that. What I do want to talk about, though, briefly, is that these rings here are super cheap. And there's a hole punch that you can get that is likewise relatively inexpensive. So you can kind of make your own sheets for this. And I have found this to be just really super useful. Like, here's a couple pages from the upcoming Dragon Wilds that I wanted to run an adventure from Dragon Wilds. It's in a PDF. I wanted it printed out. So I printed out the pages that I needed, and then I went ahead and made myself a little cheat sheet in the same style of some of the things that I wanted. I tend to draw maps for myself of something that I know I'm going to run, just to kind of cook it into my brain, as like thinking about it and drawing it out kind of forces me to like internalize some of the structures. Anyway, my mothership character coming up. Shout out to Dave Kenny from Magnum Galaxy Games for the smuggler class, and shout out to Waco Matrixo for making the psychic condition, which is pretty dope. I'm very excited to play this character, and I'll be playing that at the beginning of March. But here, the part of the book I'm finally achieving, thanks for bearing with me, Solo Dark. So this is my Solo Dark campaign. These are my notes for it. This isn't actually my notes for it. This is my like kind of dashboard for it. So you can see here my dashboard. I've got my character sheet up here for my main character. I've got this is his one companion that he has right now. And then this is a little sheet for his burro, Wallace, is a donkey. And then this is my map of the region that they're in. And then on the back of the map, I've got the keys for everything that's on that map, so I can look them up. And basically, I took a bunch of adventures from the kind of like everything that I've wanted to run that I haven't had a chance to. And I just littered it all over this map and used like the cities and stuff. And so you'll see like this is Holy Mountain Shaker is Plish. Kirkitsa is from the mountains of Goazan, mountains of the Ghosts of Zoazana Mountain. Imbrich is from the Plangent Mage. Clink, I think, is from Fever Swamp, and Brighton is from Tomb of Black Sand. So those are like the cities, those are like the villages and cities I put around here. And then I just kind of placed some other adventures around in different locations. And so my thinking was that I would create this, and then I would just kind of go ahead and start playing. So this is my actual journal for, and I just want to call out here that I am not, this is not like me having a final format for this. This is me exploring how I might want to do this. And actually it's changed quite a bit throughout this. So I'm just going to walk through some of the things that I did and some of the things that I've changed. So one thing that I started with that I took from Daniel over at Bandit's Keep. I love his solo stuff. I watch it all the time. So shout out to Daniel. Is I rolled up where some maps might be located on the map. And so I basically just did like quadrants. I think I rolled in like, I think I rolled a D6 to figure out where they were on the, on this map. And then I rolled like within that quadrant on some other dice to get a location. And so I generated these 4 map locations that were on the map. And my first goal was to take a thief, Ulgar, my half-orc thief, to go out and find the maps. And so, just, at first I was just like, okay, I'm leaving from this place to go to this place. I rolled a random encounter roll. I got a random encounter, I think, so I put RE. 4 hours, I was on the road as grasslands. So I found a trap above the road. I disabled it. So I think, there was like a falling boulder trap or whatever. So this is kind of an early notation attempt where I think it's a little heavy-handed. It doesn't really tell me a lot, and it's very kind of cumbersome to read through. But I did get from Plish to Kirkitsa. So that was the first thing, was just getting on the road, just get from here to here, right? Which I think was a good intuition, was just to start with something very simple. Just like, can my character walk? And so I did that. And then, I spent the day plotting a course and carousing. I stayed at the King's Lodge Inn for 1 gold piece. I rolled a rumor. So Dragomir says a dragon landed in the Crater Valley 2 weeks ago. A storm on its heels. It ate the cattle. But I was too broke to carouse. And I think I got this rumor from the Ghosts of Zoazana Mountain adventure module, which was pretty cool. So here you can see I started kind of changed format, right? I switched to using just a little box where I would say, okay, this is my planned like path where I'm trying to get to. And then I just would roll inside this box here. So my encounter roll was a 5. The first shift or the first watch was 1 on the second. So I got a giant snake there, right? I've got what my time is as I'm leaving and doing things, and in some cases what the date is. So I was playing pretty much not real time, but I was playing like from the time that I started playing, the date that I actually started playing these sessions. I recorded that, and then I just kind of went forward from there. So every time I played, I would track the dates from that time. And so I think right about here, let's see, I find the map, the first map here in 2515. And so you can see, so 2515 is right here. So I circled it as soon as I found the map. And then I went ahead and I just rolled up some stuff, like what the map might have. And so this map points to a crystal ball that's in a marrow lair, the lair of the Sea Bandit Prince. I just kind of made that stuff up, like, as I was going. I think I rolled in the Old School Essentials creature catalog or something or maybe what I did was I rolled the location, like I rolled the 2521. So I rolled the location of treasure, of like where this treasure was pointed to. So I ended up with a random location out here on the shore. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. What if it's like a sea cave? You know, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I rolled sea cave. I got Marrow, and I was like, oh, cool. Marrow's great. They call him the Bandit Prince. He's like the Sea Bandit Prince. He's like a Marrow, like a merfolk ogre who's all gemmed up. He's rich. He's got some mad cash. And a Vorpal Sword +2 is down there. And I even generated a little dungeon in case I ever want to use this, so I can actually use this later to actually run an adventure. But that's not what this guy did. He went and he took the whole thing back. Was like, well, this is above my pay grade, so I'm going to sell the map. And so whatever the value of the treasure was, he sold it for like I think 10% or something like that of the value of the treasure, which is enough to carouse, get some. Bought a donkey. This was his first time. Gosh, man, traveling without a mount was so annoying as a single character. You just don't have any room for rations or torches or anything. It was brutal. But yeah, and then Escaped Flea Circus is lying low on his back. Generous reward for their return. He has no idea that that's there. Actually, that's super funny. I kind of want to find out what the story of the flea circus is. But yeah, so I think I might have gotten that from Knock actually. And then I planned my next course, and then wrote some little fiction bits here and there. So you can see it's pretty, it's just kind of as it is. Like you make a little course, execute on it. Carousing in Kirkitsa, I spent a bunch of money. I think I got another map with a lot of treasure. It was pretty good. In fact, this one, I think this is treasure map 2113. Leads to a shield +2. A Hydra, Octophamis, hunts the grasslands in this area. So yeah, I just came up with this stuff, kind of fun. Olgar stays in Kirkitsa. Planned trip, so we take another trip. I think we found like a wheeled hag on the way. I just found some stuff on the way, and so I started making notes about the stuff we were finding because I found this format to be really difficult. And we got down here. The time Olgar saved 3 dwarven soldiers. Yeah. And we got the treasure map 1010, a non-GP treasure. This is when things changed in this campaign. Olgar was not interested in dying for treasure, for loot. He was not interested in dying for gold. Enough blood has been spilled for gold, he says. But this was a lesser genie trapped in a magic circle. Imaris is there. The corpse of his captor lays on the ground, but his astral projected spirit maintains the spell. So there's a trapped genie that can grant a wish. And yeah, I think Ulgar is about that. He wants to get that wish. So he decides he's not selling this treasure. He's going to go and get this thing here. Now, I think he did, maybe it's back here. I think he did also get a taste. So when he got the treasure map for this 1616, I think like 1616 was literally on his way home. I think it's like, maybe it's on the next page. No, it was back here. Yeah, here. I think you know what? Where did I even do this? 1414, 1616. Yeah. So he actually stops and explores where one of these maps says the treasure is. And this was the treasure. So he gets a Giant Slayer sling +1, +4 versus Giantkin in the King Cockatrice tunnels, which if you've seen the Ghost of Zoazana Mountain, this is one of like the little micro dungeons. It's not really a dungeon, but like it's kind of encounter you can get on the side. And so I tucked this away in the treasure here, and he did some clever stuff to make sure that he survived. It was pretty cool. And so after that, he was like, okay, maybe this treasure, maybe these maps are better to use for myself. So at this point, I think the solo TTRPG notation had come out. And I was excited to see that. So I was just kind of practicing. This is my little page of just writing down some notation and my campaign and session headers. And then this is me kind of trying it, right? So this is me talking about, I'm in the scene, the markets of Krkitsa. Olgar walks into the general store. The dwarf Trogan is attending. And so, location, Royal Commodities, NPC Trogan. Morning. 3 weeks of rations, 6 torches. Aye, 6 gold, 5 silver. He goes to collect the goods. Olgar places 7 gold on the counter and begins prepping his pack. Going a long trip then? Yeah, south. Have you been? Does Targan know the south region, the southern region? Yes. Sacrifice knowledge. So I generated a little prompt, sacrifice knowledge. And yeah, there are caves in the forest to the south. They were used for human sacrifices. Devils still dwell there. Refers to 2 incandescent grottos. So basically, I just was like stitching together stuff like, oh, I know there's forests to the south, right? So I've got stuff on the way. There's 2. It's literally south of Krkitsa. And boom, we're on our way. We're trying to go to Imbrich, where this, so that we can take a boat over to where this is. So that's kind of how that worked out. I found this to be a little heavy-handed, but we'll get to how that works. He ends up hiring Imogen. I kind of am not super thrilled with how the session breaks work, but it's fine. Like, this is, it's pretty fine. Also, I think I was trying to give a lot of space so that I could kind of keep track of what's going on and read them back. But in reality, pretty swiftly, I think right about here when we headed into the incandescent grottos. So in the middle of the night, we get set upon by 3 drunk lizards who are trying to get their way into the incandescent grottos for reasons. And so I ended up, basically, I think we rolled like a really good reaction roll. Yeah, are they aware of the party? Yes, but they do not consider them a threat. Olgar and Imogen offer to join them. So they join these lizard folk and head into the incandescent grottos. And so our party is now up to 5, but 3 of our characters are kind of these monster stat blocks, which was fun. It was super cool that it was just able to do that. Using the torch timer notation, kind of move through the incandescent grottos. I'm not going to bore you with the details of this, but it was actually really, really cool. I did an entire dungeon delve of the incandescent grottos all the way to the end here, I think. Yeah, the dragon eats crystals and Olgar sneaks up to attack. Rolled really good for the attack. The dream dragon. Olgar and both lizards attack. Yeah, so we beat up the dragon. We took a bunch of treasure. We got 21 XP for all this treasure. And then we set up the lamp and sleep. Because there's a lamp that does this fictional finery, I think, lamp. It's really cool, from the Prismist. And this is kind of where the session ended, as I traveled from there to Imbrich. We got to Imbrich, and we just kind of met some people. I think we caroused a little bit. And this is kind of this is where that session ended. And I haven't run again yet. These are my to-dos before I run the session again. But I got to figure out what the boating costs are. I need to add my fine horse to this, to my character stack here. So I will say, right about here, I started using my voice recorder to kind of just track more normal notes, and using my transcriber to kind of deal with that stuff. So that's mostly like, these notes are here and they're usable in some way, but honestly playing back my own voice at 2 times is probably much better. So this is my little Popper Press, I think is the book producer. They make the Peter Popper Press. They make really, really great, inexpensive books that I like to use. And so this is a bullet journal that I use for that. And that's how I've been doing my solo dark campaign. I've got a Calarath thing that I'm doing that's way smaller. It's a little lighter weight. But yeah, that's my thing. I'm going to be starting a Black Sword hack solo, I think, soon. Mike, Erudite DM, was talking about doing one as well, so maybe we'll compare notes. Or I've got some Mutants of the Radiant Tundra right here. Beautiful nightmares haunt the vaporous scrublands. Yeah, cool. I forgot I started writing that. That's awesome. Yeah. Anyway, I love my little book. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like these videos, or any of my videos, I guess, hit like button, click subscribe thing. Do what you got to do. It helps out the channel. I'm not in this to do anything with my channel other than like connect with people who like TTRPG stuff and maybe the stuff that we make, because we make a lot of I think cool stuff, or other people who make stuff, because I love checking out other people's stuff. Obviously, I'm kind of a reviewer. Somebody called me. I guess I am. But yeah, I appreciate your time and energy, and yeah, shout out to all the other creators out there who are inspiring, because like I'm inspired by you all. I get really excited when a new solo adventure comes out, or when a new Wirth comes out, and Purple Druid. Yeah, I think it's great. We got a great community out here, and I love being a part of it. So sound off in the comments, man. Shoot me put an emoji down there. Put like a little moon emoji for my little moon thing if you made it this far in the video. So let me know that you're down there, that you're listening, and you give a crap. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for playing.